Yes, guys, episode 17 of the Blue Balls podcast. Welcome back to another pod. Welcome back to another episode. As you guys already know, hit the like button, subscribe, all of that. Check out the bell notification button. Check out everybody's personal channels and their socials as well. Links literally here on the bottom left if you're looking for where to find us. But we're going to delve into all the latest news surrounding Chelsea over the last week or so. We've got linked to a lot more 10s. Kudus, Elise, that just came out a couple of days ago. We've got the latest on the Lukaku situation. Conor Gallagher has just received a £40 million bid from West Ham United. Also, there's random Kylian Mbappé links that we're going to entertain and we're going to have a discussion about because, God willing, there's even a morsel of truth in that. But we're going to delve into all of it. So stay tuned, stay locked in, stay comfortable, and enjoy the show. Big up to everybody. And again, hit the like button and subscribe. Fata, saw you at Barnet versus Chelsea in the weekend. Another loss for the Blues, but hopefully it's the last that we see this year. How's your week been?
It's been all right, apart from the game itself. But other than that, yeah, it's been blessed. And yeah, it's been like a long saga, with that Caicedo stuff. But man, Brighton really test our patience on there. Flipping hell, man.
This situation is getting more and more frustrating by the week. I have another week left of patience in me, but I've accepted this is not Chelsea's fault. It's not Chelsea's fault. This is just Brighton moving fucking stingy and just trying to hold out this deal for as long as possible. But we will get into all of that in a little set. Alex, what are you saying, my bro? How's everything been, man?
All good, buddy. Mate, it's been a busy one, but I'm just glad to be back watching football, to be honest with you. I was watching some of the highlights of the other games. Obviously, you got the summer series. So I was watching Brentford versus, was it Aston Villa? No, Brentford versus Fulham, and then Aston Villa versus Newcastle. Every team's looking pretty good, to be honest with you, which means we've got to be on our game even more so. But look, I said it before and I'll say it again. I'm feeling confident. I do think we'll get top four, but we do need one or two more players. So I just think we need to try and wrap it up. But I don't care when we wrap it up. As long as we do it by deadline day, it doesn't bother me. I'm not too worried about this whole saga. You said it yourself. It's not our fault. Brighton are asking for ridiculous money. And, we might end up giving it to them, but we'll see how it turns out.
We'll see how it turns out as well. But you just reminded me, all the talk about transfer news, I forgot there's actually just been 2 friendlies in the middle of the last podcast. Ridiculous. Kev, we'll start off with you. So big up, my bro. Hope you've had a good week and everything. Talk to me about the last 2 games watching Chelsea and just your thoughts and who's shone and stood out for you the most. He's lagging, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh no, I think he's back. Is he back?
I'm not gonna get too. I'm not gonna get too carried away with the Wrexham game. What you got to think is, they was a non-league team last year. Obviously, just got into the League 2. Can't get carried away with that game. Obviously, we'll take the 5-1 in spells. We look good. Can't complain. But in regards to the game against Brighton, Nicholas Jackson, what a player he's going to be. The way he links up, he drops. It's everything that we've needed in the last 3 or 4 seasons. We've needed a striker that can drop deep and can link up the play, and it's exactly what we need. The way he links up with Modric for that goal, Modric's goal, brilliant. The way he just done the little 1-2s. It just reminds me of Drogba a lot. I said it before he even played the game for us, that his physicality and the way he can drop deep and hold players off reminds me a bit of Drogba. And the now seeing him in the Chelsea shirt is definitely alike. Hopefully, he can bring this form into the Premier League, and hopefully we can actually get a striker what can do the business rather than see Kai Havertz and sit up front.
I just started even at the thought of remembering that guy at Chelsea. But yes. I know it's only pre-season, and I know it's only a few games in, and we need to see what he's like against Premier League teams that are at full fitness and everything. But the way not just the way Nicholas Jackson plays, but how much better the whole team looks when he's on the pitch. I don't want to go in for a striker. I'll be real. I would happily wait till January, give him at least 4 months, see how he performs in the Premier League. If he's not amazing and we need more reinforcements, there's options. Ivan Toney, you can actually purchase him in the January window. You can't purchase him now. And I remember saying this on the last pod as well. The striker window next season is way better than it is right now. Right now, it is mid. It's Lautaro Martinez at a heavy price, Vlahovic at a heavy price. And that's it in terms of experience, big name forwards, unless you want to give Lukaku a chance and he don't even want to be here and none of us even want to entertain that option. So, Alex, are you on the Nicholas Jackson train for the season or are you still a bit wary of?
I'm not going to lie to you, mate. He looked good, man. But, it's similar. I just don't think that we can judge the players after a couple of pre-season games. I think we've seen signs of it, but ultimately, you've got to wait until August. So, look, I don't have a problem if we don't sign a striker. It doesn't bother me. I think that we're good enough up top. I think if we play the team around Sterling, it might not look great, but I think he'll score goals. I think if we fit Mudryk into the team, we've seen what he can do. And then, we haven't even seen Madueke and other players like that. So, we've got so much potential up top. I don't think it's like a pressing matter for us because, as you said, we do already have a striker in Jackson. And Nkunku looks class as well. One of the things that I think Nkunku gives us is just the ability to score a half chance. I know Nicholas Jackson scored a great goal, got the assist as well. That was great. That's fantastic. Love the hold-up play. But Nkunku's goal was class. People haven't been talking enough about that. I know Jackson's sort of taken the spotlight and obviously the Mudryk goal, but it's the simple things that we were never able to do last season. And even before, we're talking years since we had a striker, a player who was able to just compose himself. And Nkunku's class as well, because he's not even celebrating. He's like, right, it's another day, another goal. We need to build on this. On to the next.
This is pre-season. I'm not ready yet.
That's it, man. And this is the mentality we need. Mudryk only said, I'm 20% of where I need to be. So I love that. Absolutely love it. We need to carry.
And then we got Kai.
Sorry, mate.
And then we got Kai Havertz, who scored his first Arsenal goal against the MLS All-Stars, and he's put a freaking Instagram post on, and he's celebrating like it's the fucking
have that
World Cup
final.
final.
And then did nothing against United.
and then against United, back to his typical ways of ghosting and giving the ball away as cheap as possible. Well,
they're going to play Havertz in the midfield. I can't wait. I can't wait.
So did Havertz play the full 90? I didn't watch it.
Nah, 60, 70 minutes. Then they brought him off. But then they brought Jorginho on, and it's like, you lot have been getting burned in transition anyway. That's not going to help. I don't know. I don't know. If they don't play Havertz in that midfield, I think Arsenal are actually worrying. Right now, it's long. But I can't wait to see it next season, especially when they come to the bridge. In terms of the midfield, though, seeing as we're still sticking with that, Casady, Santos, what do you feel like the plan should be with these two? Fatter, I'll go to you. Do you feel like we should be keeping the pair of them? One should go on loan? Because I know we still got to talk about game time and everything. And the fact that we have one game a week means it's going to be limited game time for a lot of the bench players. And they're only really going to see the one-off cup match a month. So what would you do in this situation?
Tough question, because I feel like those two games, especially against Wrexham, I saw a bit of flair and energy about Casady and Santos, especially the last game as well. And they both look really good, and they both look like they are ready for the season. But that question itself, for me, I feel like if it depends as well. If let's say if we get Caicedo, then one of the Santos or Casady will go on loan, unfortunately. Or you know what, we might as well just keep them as a good depth squad rotation in that sense. But yeah, if I was Poch right now, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It all depends as well, like in that Caicedo situation. Plus, you forgot the fact that this might sound crazy, but I do think what happens in that Mbappé deal, if let's say if Real Madrid can afford Mbappé, then you might as well get Tchouaméni in if we're serious enough. But I'd love to dream to get that Tchouaméni pivot with Enzo and that, but it's not going to happen. But at least just I do have a vision for next season anyway. But at the end of the day, like you said,
Speak on the vision, bro. I want to hear it. What's the vision?
It's tough. It's a tough call. If it's a tough call, I want to see, like I said, I want to see that Enzo Tchouaméni pivot. Let's say if we bring Caicedo as well in that midfield, in that equation as well.
Oh, wait, you want us to get both? I thought you were saying one or the other, because that makes sense. Tchouaméni, I know we haven't been properly linked with him yet, but if Madrid are serious about getting Kylian Mbappé this summer and they need to raise the funds, that's a potential avenue if this Caicedo deal longs out. If anything, might even work in our favor if we drop a cheeky bid, because then his agents are going to panic and they're going to be like, stop going to training. These lot are pricing you out of a move. Couple of avenues you could take. I will take either of Tchouaméni or Caicedo right now, because that would solidify our midfield. But I just don't know what's happening with this Caicedo situation. It feels like this is going to drag down all the way to deadline day. And I'm fine with us even putting the 100 million down for him. But with the windows that we've had and the players that we've brought in, and let's say the question marks we've had about them initially, like let's say Casadei, Santos, how quickly they're going to be able to come into the team. Badiashile, Fofana, Nicholas Jackson, Mudryk. We've brought in players who I've understood the vision on, and they've grown to potentially be at a first team level within a couple months. If they find some plan B, plan C midfielder as their Caicedo replacement, that's a lot cheaper and they want to go in for him, I'm 100% down for that, because this recruitment strategy over the last 12 months has only shown to me that they are picking the best talents in Europe. They're picking players that are looking brilliant or looking like they could become unbelievable players. And I get we need someone of Caicedo's quality or profile right now, but I do think his profile isn't so unique that you can't find it anywhere else. So to me, it's like, if we're not getting Caicedo, go for Tchouaméni. If not, just make sure the replacement's sorted before the start of the season, because we can't go into the season with the midfield we have right now.
It's not the first time we've spoken about Tchouaméni as well. I know you've brought him up before. Why does his name keep being brought up? Because I never read anything about him.
We were linked with him, I think, in 21-22. But then Marina said she wanted to wait a year for him. And then Madrid just snuck up and took him because, good player, why did you wait another year for him? But he's had a fallout with Ancelotti at the end of last season, so he wasn't playing a lot of games. And now people are saying he could potentially be on his way out, or he could be used to raise funds for a Kylian Mbappé transfer. And because we need a midfielder, it's like there's an avenue there that you could try and pursue.
Well, I don't think that really makes sense, because Ancelotti is going to Brazil anyway. So worst case, he doesn't get that much game time. I don't know why he'd want to leave Madrid.
Is he still at Madrid now?
He's at Madrid now, but he's going to go to Brazil next season.
Next season.
Okay. He's got the job lined up. It's confirmed. And then, obviously you're going to have another gaffer coming in, so that's not going to be a problem. Also, why would he want to leave Madrid to go to Chelsea? I mean, it's one of the few clubs who are actually bigger than us. And, why would they need to spend the money on Mbappe when he'll just leave on a free anyway? So they don't need to free up any funds.
It's like PSG want to get rid of him now. Saudi Arabia's coming in with that crazy £700 million.
He'll still be able to go on a free. So what they're saying?
Yes. I hear you.
So yeah, Al Hilal will literally pay him world record wages for 1 year just to get him in the league, and then he can dip for a free. They don't care about the money. They will literally take a loss on everything. I reckon it will get to the stage. Let's just say that he will accept. It will get to a stage where he'll accept. He'll get this unbelievable salary, and he'll probably get control of his image rights or something like that for a year. Saudi have no motivation to make money off of this. This is why, they are great for football in a way, because they're opening up the landscape for a new country, but they're also fucking it up because, we can't compete with that, and it's going to inflate all the other transfers and wages as well. So I don't know, man, but it's good. It's smart from Saudi. When you got that much money, you got to spend it on something, and football's not cheap. So, fair play to him.
Yeah, with this whole Mbappe situation as well, because we've somehow got our names put into the mix on this. Like PSG were meant to be waiting to receive offers from Saudi clubs and Chelsea. And I think one of the Sky Sports publicists say that they could potentially look to try and loan him to a team that isn't in the Champions League so he doesn't compete against them. Who's not in the Champions League, who's not even in Europe. We could be a potential avenue, this Kylian Mbappé situation. And what would you guys say to Mbappé at Chelsea? Because I know most of us would 100% bring him in ASAP, but I've seen people ask the question about whether it would be the right move for us. Would it break our wage structure? Would he be investing in the long-term future at Chelsea? Does that even matter to any of you guys? Because I would like to know. Because to me, I'm just saying bring him in immediately. That's game-changing.
The thing is, like, we do need a clinical striker. Yes, we still have Jackson on our team. He's going to be playing most of the games for next season. But what can be better upgrade right now than Kylian Mbappé? He's probably the only player out there I can think of myself like, all right, he's a World Cup winner. He's still young. He's about what, 23 or 24. Got a few years left at least before he retires. Like, so if I was Chelsea right now, if you're serious and ambitious enough, like, why not in it? Because we've been crying out loud for a clinical striker ever since Diego Costa left, and now we've got a major saga drama that in Kylian Mbappé right now, who doesn't want to play in PSG, might get rotten out on the bench next season under Enrique. Then there's this transfer saga. Where do you want to go? Al Hilal or Madrid? Like, if I was Pochettino right now, I would call Mbappé right now just to come to us. And you know what? Why not for like no Champions League football for a season? Like, at least you can start pat some trophies along the way as well in your CV. Plus next
that
season
would be
as well.
a game-changing move for us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as long as you sort out the midfield.
Why would he accept? This is what I'm saying. Like, I just don't see why would Mbappe go to Chelsea? You know, it doesn't make sense.
He's a Chelsea fan.
He's something similar to
He's a
Al
massive
Hilal.
Chelsea fan for one.
Well, I don't. Do you know what? I think we're past that point. You know, when you're a professional, at the end of the day, you've got to think about your own interest. You know, I don't really think he cares about being a Chelsea fan. I'd be very surprised if he did. I mean, what are we going to do? Spend all the money on him and give him a one-year deal like Al Hilal? I mean, that's not the Bowley way. We're not going to lose money. That's just stupid. And he's not going to accept.
If it was a loan, it would be the same wages. But I feel like Chelsea and PSG would probably pay different percentages of it.
Do you think Mbappe would accept that? I don't know. I suppose when you
talk
about
in your league or not, because I believe his dream is to go to Real Madrid, but it doesn't mean you can't detour along the way.
I mean, I suppose if he did well in the Prem as well, you get a lot of perks for that, you know, because a lot of players try and avoid it. But yeah, I suppose when you put it like that, that does sound realistic.
Like, I wouldn't expect him to be loyal and to stay for 5 years and be proper Chelsea and all that. I'd expect him to want to go to Madrid. But I also think if he was to actually sign for Chelsea, we'd end up selling him for more than that anyway. And as long as we didn't try to hold him down or anything, which I don't think we would do, even then, that's something that's very long term in the future, like 4 or 5 years. As of right now, with 1 game a week, you bring me Kylian Mbappe. Let's say we sort out Caicedo or we get a DM, maybe a goalkeeper too. Then we can look higher than top 4. We can look way higher than top 4 because a player of Kylian Mbappe's quality, that is different. That should be 25, 30 goals in the season in his first season. It's just like that. And I'm not even thinking him up front. I'm thinking him next to Nicholas Jackson coming off the left. Them two linking up, ridiculous.
Yeah, I guess also you look at it as well, and then you say, what does that do for the other players? So, I mean, where does Nkunku play? Where does Mudryk play? Where does Sterling play? So you've got all these other players.
Would be in the middle. Mudryk's a bit of a question mark, and to be honest, Sterling, I don't care. Figure it out, innit? Like, he's been poor for too long. We gotta look forward.
I think this Raheem Sterling links. I saw the news in one of the can't even remember what's the site called. Like, I think Poch would want to get rid of Raheem Sterling if the preseason doesn't go well, and that could be our another main source of fun to get that kid Mbappé sorted out. Plus, you got Gallagher as well from West Ham or Tottenham fighting it out for Conor Gallagher. At least probably we're gonna get at least 100 mil if that happens.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the only people that would pay his wages though is Saudi. I can't see him leaving.
Sterling will. If you don't get a lot of game time, I think he does because he left City for that reason, and he had the fifth highest minutes in the squad that season.
But the thing is, as well, his family are in London, so he came. There was other reasons to it. I mean, we gave him absolute fuck ton of money. He's our highest earner. He's in London with his family. He's playing at a great team. He's in a great part of London. I don't see why he would want to leave, to be honest with you. I mean, I get it.
Is it a deciding factor, though, or is it just a factor? Because I don't remember anyone else being in for Sterling when we had him. It was just a good proposal for him at the time.
No, I agree with you, but that's the thing. Well, you're kind of proving my point again because nobody's going to want him. So, you know, who's going to pay his wages? Is he going to want to go out
that's
there?
the bigger problem.
You know, I'm sure Saudi would take him. I mean, they'll take everyone at this point. They just want to try and pinch.
I don't think Sterling would want to go to Saudi Arabia. Personally, I don't think he'd want to go there.
Yeah,
they'd have to offer him a lot of money to do. I think everyone's got a price with Saudi Arabia. If they offer you enough money, you'll go. But
they've got it.
They have to offer him something crazy. Like Henderson got 700k a week, innit? You weren't going to join until he got that amount. And I don't blame him. You go get your money. And N'Golo Kante, same energy. Go get your piece.
I was chatting with my mate who's a Liverpool fan. Apparently Henderson had a really crap season as well. So, I mean, off of the back of that to get, was it like 4 or 5 times pay rise or something like that? Something stupid. I mean,
probably more.
700k a week, bro.
700k a week to Jordan Henderson. It doesn't correlate. When N'Golo Kante is making like 86 million a year, it's like, at least it's Kante. Guy's a fucking legend. He's one of the best midfielders ever. Henderson, not really. He's one of the best Liverpool captains. That's it. Not even the best midfielders, captains.
Well, I think they've said that now that he's walked out, his legacy at Liverpool's gone. Because
they're all bitter, even though half of them wanted to upgrade on him, but now they're complaining about depth. If you guys want depth, Conor Gallagher, West Ham have just dropped a bid on him. How about you start a little bidding war? And by the way, yes, West Ham United just dropped 40 million for Conor Gallagher. Fabrizio Romano has now just reported it as well in the last few minutes. No official response from Chelsea yet, but the transfer fee put on his head earlier today was above 35 million. So I would expect them to consider this, but probably hold it out for a few days as well, with Newcastle interested, with Tottenham interested as well. That's my Kudus or Elise or Cherky money. And in my opinion, we have just completely upgraded on the position. But Alex, I want to come to you on this because you said you kind of had a different opinion on the whole Gallagher situation. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your whole thoughts.
Well, listen, I mean, we've seen it, right? We've seen it. I mean, he's been pretty good in pre-season, if you ask me. I don't think he's a starting player for us, but I think he's a good replacement for Loftus-Cheek. He's that player. He knows what it means to be a Chelsea player. He's got a great attitude, never complains, runs like a dog. I know we always take the piss out of him for it, but I'd rather have a player who runs than a player who doesn't run. And on top of that, he can score goals, you know, so it's not like he's completely useless. There are positives to having him in the game. I think sometimes it's a bit like Sterling in a way. Sometimes the play can slow down or break down, or maybe he hasn't got that pass in him that other players have. But look, it's a great player to have in your squad, and I would be happy to have him. And look, don't get me wrong, if we can get a good price for him and then a suitable replacement, put that money towards, you know, as you said, a Cherky or another player, or even just stick it on Caicedo, because at the end of the day, he's the player that we've been looking for. Maybe maybe we need to get rid of Gallagher to get that other deal over the line. Because as far as I'm concerned, if we do sell Gallagher, that's even more reason for Brighton to hold out and say you've got the money to pay for him. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I've got no issue with Gallagher staying. For me, it's a bit like Mount. I was happy for Mount to stay again. Obviously, he didn't want to stay, so that's his problem. You know, I don't really care that he's not here, but I would have been happy to give him another chance, especially because Poch wanted him. So if Poch wants Gallagher to stay as well, I think they probably will keep him. But yeah, no, he's not going to be at the forefront of his ideas, is he?
See,
I do that.
Go on, Flatter.
You know what? I agree with certain points that Alex saying there, but my problem for him is his ability, his ball retention and the passing as well. And for me, his able to read a game kind of like questionable a lot, especially for example last season. I can count at least numerous times when he played alongside Enzo and literally just leaving Enzo exposed last season. And that's why we are in this conversation right now talking about we need a DM to get alongside Enzo so that Gallagher can play a further forward. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I just think that his position is more of a 10 / more of a free roam role in the attacking in that 4-2-3-1 formation. And I don't know what it's just like the agenda towards him. Like I don't have any agenda, by the way, just out of interest. I don't have any agenda. I just think that for me, again the way that he reads the game, kind of like for me, is still lacking, and that's why people still have a lot of frustration towards him.
But his coaching at Chelsea has been, he hasn't really had the chance to be coached. Obviously, Tuchel came in, off you go. Potter came in, off you go. Lampard came in, off you go. So
neither did Enzo, to be fair, and you can see what Enzo brings in spite of all of that. Like, to me, I was listening to when you were describing Conor Gallagher, and we got like one on the ball attribute, which I think was scoring goals. And I'll give you that. To be honest, if there's one thing Gallagher's good at, is getting into goal scoring positions. And I actually think he's got a decent finish on him. But other than that, his profile just don't fit anywhere. He can't play deep, can't play him in a pivot, can't do the 8 role because he hasn't got positional awareness. His first touch is arse, I'll be real with you. Barely passes forwards, and when he does, he loses possession. He hasn't got the creativity to be a 10. He hasn't got any of those other attributes to be an 8. It's like all you're good for is running. That's
the thing is, yeah,
made a lot of sense. It's the same thing.
As a centre midfielder, running shouldn't be your main attribute. The only running you should, as a centre midfielder, you shouldn't even have to run. All you should be doing is getting the ball, passing it on, retaining it, moving around. That's it. He's wanting to chase the ball up the field. Like, he's playing centre midfield in the pivot. You see my man running up the field trying to chase the ball. What are you doing that for? Because what you're doing then is if you're running up and chasing the ball, you're leaving gaps for the opposition to expose on the counter attack. And that's what Fata said a bit ago. Enzo got exposed in transition plenty of times because Gallagher wants to go and chase the ball at the field. Okay, I accept your enthusiasm and wanting to get the ball, but you have to be disciplined. Centre midfield is a very disciplined position. You shouldn't have to be chasing the ball. All you need to do is sit, hold your position, and keep the ball ticking. And then when you do get into the goal-scoring positions, like he has done,
again,
he was on a good run.
That's not a midfielder.
He's back.
Wait, Kev. So you were saying good goal-scoring position, and then we lost you, mate.
The thing is, like,
oh, he's delayed. Yeah, go on, Batter. No worries.
The thing again, like Kevin said, like you do have to realize as well in that 4-2-3-1 formation as well. Like you need someone who sits to be the proper destroyer in front of the back four. Plus, you got Enzo is that main creator in the midfield, that number 8 / Fabregas role in that sense. And for a guy like Gallagher, what I've seen especially from the latter stage of last season. Numerous of times I can count at least like I know he always loved to pressure a lot, bombs forward, but at the same time you've got to be able to read the game on what's behind you in front of that back four, and that's why we as our fans have been frustrating a lot because it was several occasions in certain types of situations, especially the games against Real Madrid, Brighton at home. Where he leaves Enzo is literally the one that have been exposed.
Just to say, the West Ham bid is 37 million plus add-ons up to 40.
I'm not saying, as I said, I'm not saying he needs to start in each game, but I think he's a useful squad player. I mean,
Yeah.
let's be real. Ross Barkley at one point was a useful squad player. He was shy, but he was a useful squad player. Sorry,
I'd actually prefer Ross.
I used the term useful. Very
actually
useful.
prefer Ross. I prefer Ross Barkley than Conor Gallagher. And that's me.
Man,
No.
I
Conor
can't pick.
That's
Conor
like
They both
Conor
stink.
Gallagher-
They both stink.
boys.
Ross
That's an
Barkley
easy decision.
could at least pass
I
the
got
ball. He could ping the ball. Conor Gallagher's not that guy. Conor Gallagher's not that guy.
Gallagher's he's got a good ego and everything, like a good mentality. I've got nothing against the guy as an individual. He's not toxic or anything. He's just not good. He's just not good. Like I need something discernible. Like I said with Mount, like I said with Havertz, I need something discernible to go off with you. There's no passing range. You can't beat a man. Your first touch isn't good. Your awareness isn't good. Can't play you anywhere. Like we want to get rid of him, and we want to bring in one of Cherky, Elise, or Kudus, mainly to compete as depth with Nkuku. Any one of those three is an upgrade on Conor Gallagher to me. So it's like, thank you for the season. I was going to say the memories, but there's not really any. But yeah, you gotta go. You gotta go. Clear out don't care about said. This don't bring us nothing. Let's be real about it.
Yeah. I mean, can we agree on this though? If he does go to West Ham, I reckon he'll ball out. I reckon he'll do just as well out there as he did at Palace.
I wouldn't say ball out. I'll say it play decent.
All right,
they're a more defensive team, actually. They're a more defensive team. I think Gallagher having more time off the ball would suit him better in that sort of side. So actually, yeah, I think you do well at West Ham. But for the better of everybody, he's got to go. He's got to go. But if we get any of those three, I'll be happy. But like we said, we have been linked with Mohamed Kudus. Personal terms have been agreed with him. Personal terms have been agreed with Elise. I think as well with Cherky, but that was from a week or two ago. Part of me feels like we're calling on that offer because we've now focused on the other two. There was reports saying Lyon were not really trying to get rid of him and they were willing to get rid of other players to raise funds other than Cherky. So maybe with that in mind, it makes more sense. But out of the three, who would you guys prefer? Or are you guys? To me, I see positives in both. I think Kudus is better with his ball striking. Elise will give you the creativity, and he's also got the Prem-proven tag that everybody loves. Cherky would just bring you a lot of creativity and great dribbling as well. But I would say you kind of get that off Elise anyway. So yeah. I kind of get the new links on him. Who would you guys prefer? Kev, I'll go to you first.
Elise. Hopefully it doesn't break up again. I'd go with Elise. Reason being is he's had a couple of seasons in the Prem, and for me, he's played in average Crystal Palace team, and he's been one of the him and Zaha basically run the show for them every single week in, week out. I think if he came into a Chelsea team with all the quality around him, he's shine still. Another reason being is he came through I think he had a spell at Chelsea when he was a kid as well. So he knows a bit about the club. I think with the other two, it's a bit of a gamble. Kudos, I've seen some brilliant stuff from him. He'd be my second choice. I've seen him play in the Champions League last year. The guy is very strong on his feet, got a wicked shot. He's very quick, brilliant technician of the ball as well. So I think he'd be my second choice. I'm not too sure about Cherky. I've seen glimpses of him in the Euros, in the under-21s, but I haven't seen enough of him to make a decision on him yet. But with Elise, you know what you're getting. He's been doing it now for the last 2 seasons. He's got the technical ability. We've been needing the free kick taker for the last how many seasons. Scored a right banger against Man United last season as well. He can whip the ball in left foot, right foot. I think if we went inside of Elise, that's that right side of the midfield covered for the foreseeable future. So he'd definitely be first choice.
Just another update on the Conor Gallagher situation. Chelsea rejected the offer and want more. West Ham not willing to go higher. So guess we're going to have to wait for Tottenham to sort out their defensive situation. And then, we'll have to see what happens. But I guess Conor Gallagher won't be going to West Ham.
Yeah,
Guess he
but
won't
do
be
you
going.
think that's because of the board, or do you think that's because Poch has said no? So this is the thing. Poch might have said, "I want to keep him."
No, it's the price tag. Chelsea want more. I'm guessing they want around 40, 45. But don't make sense with the recent reports about 35 million. I guess maybe they were BS, but Chelsea reportedly want more money. I guess they want
What kind of
the 50 million was the reported price tag like a month ago. So my guess is maybe they want West Ham or Spurs to go higher, or bidding war. They probably expect more bids for him too. Could be a bunch of different variables, but I don't think it's the case that Gallagher's not for sale. I think for the right price tag, he's gone.
Conor Gallagher's not worth more than £30 million in this market, man. Like, just get
I
it gone,
agree,
man.
but you
Just
don't
get it
deep
gone.
how much English tax is. Like
Yeah, it's
Everton
true.
put 45 million for him in January. I kind of get it. If you get 45 million in January, it's not going to go down that deep in the space of 6 months.
That's true.
It's risky, but okay. Like
Probably
we
trying to
said,
hold that
not a
40.
bad kid. I don't mind if
Right.
he's here. I'd ideally get rid of him because it would clear out a bit of room. But
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
one thing I will just add to what we're talking about with Elise. So I live in Reading, and Elise played for Reading before he went to Palace. He was unbelievable player for Reading, by the way, quality, but really bad attitude. From what everyone's told me, and from what I've spoken to my mates about, they go home and away for Reading. That's the only thing that I'd be worried about. I mean, I don't hear too much about him at Palace, but I mean, if you were like that at one club, there's a good chance you'll be like that at another. It's similar with Fofana, Wesley Fofana. You know, when he came in, forcing a move from Leicester, I'm thinking to myself, I'm glad that the player wants to join us, but let's say Real Madrid come calling, you're not going to fucking stay at Chelsea, are you? So that's my logic. I mean, there's loyalty when it suits you, but are you going to be loyal to the club? But to be fair, it's still a decent signing, isn't it? And I think we're going to get him for what, 35, 40 million. So it's not a bad price either.
It does seem a bit arrogant as well. You think he done that interview last year and he was just like, Zaha passed me the goal when he scored, and you look proper arrogant, like. So he does strike me as, yeah.
People played that off as if it was him being humble and just not talkative. It is arrogant though.
No.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Arrogant.
I need to watch it before I make a judgment. But
Well,
yeah.
basically,
it's
do you remember that really famous interview that Haaland did when he was first joined Dortmund, and he gave them the shittiest answers you've ever heard?
Yes, the one word thing.
Yeah, that's what Elise was.
Oh, he was doing that.
They were like, "Can you explain the goal that you scored?" And he was like, "Yeah, Wilfred passed me the ball. I shot at the goal and I scored." And it was like, "Fucking hell, mate! Come on, man."
I
do you
get
know what
that.
I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know that you're meant to give a better answer than that. But look, I'm not saying he's a prick. I don't know the guy, but I'm just hearing what I've heard from Reading fans.
To me, it's like the guy. If the interviewer wasn't a dickhead, it's like you don't need to be one back.
Exactly. But I mean, listen, when you come to a big club, things change, don't they? So, you know, there's a good chance that, especially under a manager like Poch, I don't think we'll have too many issues. You know, even when you look at players like Dele Alli, who played for Poch, you can see that, you know, some of these issues that you have with players not committing themselves fully, it's got nothing to do with the manager. So I think, generally speaking, if he comes in, Poch will keep him on the straight and narrow. I don't think we'll have any issues.
Hopefully.
If he does, I don't think he'll play. And ultimately, I think he'll.
Yeah, but one thing one thing that we need to stay away from though is bad attitudes, because that's what we've had in abundance the last 3 years. Lukaku, Ziyech, there's so many players we can talk about that have brought that arrogance and bad attitude into the dressing room. And now we've got rid of those kind of players. I would hate to see another Michael Elise come into the team and just show the arrogance. We don't want that at all. We want players
Elise is not
it's
worthy
too
of
early
that, is
to
he?
call, though.
He's what?
I say it's too early to call on his attitude. If that's the only thing we have,
of course. But when you've come from Crystal Palace, you can't come into Chelsea with a fucking ego issue. I mean, for God's sake, like, you know, you're playing alongside Thiago Silva and players like that. You're not going to have a big ego playing against those boys, and if you do, then you have a serious problem, unless you obviously use it the right way. But that also goes back to what we were talking about with Mbappé, right? I mean, he's got an attitude problem, if you ask me. So, you know, do you
know
want
how
to
good
risk
Poch
that
said he is
just for
with
a
man
season?
management. You know how good Poch is with man management and guessing people's energies and all of that. All we need him to do is put his hand on their shoulder. He'll figure out whether they're good vibes or not, and if not, done. More updates on the Conor Gallagher situation. There is conflicting reports. Jacob Steinberg says the Gallagher offer has been rejected and they want more. And Fabrizio Romano has said Chelsea haven't responded yet. So,
hey mate, I trust Fab. I trust
yeah,
Fab.
I don't know what's going on. I guess we'll find out an actual update in the coming hours or the coming videos on the channel, because if we get a Gallagher, here we go. We are going to be reporting on here anyway. So stay tuned. Hit the bell notification button. Perfect segue. Hit the bell notification button to be the first to know, people. What else do we have? Angelo Gabriel is likely going on loan to Strasbourg. The chief scout said he'll come in August after the tour of the United States. I think this is the right move for him personally. He's looked very good in preseason. I really like the eye for a pass that he has and the little intricate dribbling skills he's got too. But I've always been saying, for a player who has that level of quality but hasn't played in Europe for as much as he has, he needs minutes. And we have enough players in that position anyway. If Kudus or Elise come in, they can compete on the right-hand side as well. We already have Noni. We already have Sterling. We have one game a week. No need to keep the kid. Let him go. Fly your wings and everything. Go to Strasbourg. And we need players actually to go to Strasbourg and raise the profile of that club. So we're trying to do the same thing with Elie Wahi as well. If we sign him, we're going to send him straight to Strasbourg too. They're a lower mid-table League One side, and if we want that place to look a lot more attractive for young players to go to, we need good young talent to go there now and raise it. So Angelo Gabriel, head over there. Elie Wahi, if you join, head over there. Whoever we don't have room for at the end of the season, go. Send Lukaku over there if we need to. But Angelo Gabriel, best of luck. Best of luck.
The thing is, with
that,
Angelo yesterday, I do like him in some certain aspect of that game. I think he can be better in the off the ball with a better technical, and then he's a great ball carrier in half spaces. And like you said, I think it's too early to call if we're gonna get him minutes in the Premier League, especially the intensity, especially a couple against Brighton yesterday. I saw a bit less to him but most of the times I think I know what he's trying to do, but at the same time it's like it's not gonna work out for him if he's gonna be part of the team next season, because he's gonna be the ones that left out. He's not gonna be starting ahead of Noni in that sense. And plus we've already got that Fox in the box approach like Madueke in that sense. And I do love him to get that minutes in Strasbourg first before the next season coming into the first team. But he's got a great potential to be part of this team, and I'm looking forward to seeing him again.
Yeah, give him a year or two, send him over there, see how he comes back. Same thing to Elie Wahi. Same thing to the other half of them as well. All depends on how the next couple of weeks go in terms of ingoings and outgoings. Lukaku is just getting more and more frustrating as the weeks go on. One day, we're hearing that he's in Inter Milan's DMs, literally begging for a return, and they're airing him. The next day, we're hearing that Saudi clubs have returned to Lukaku with a 2-year contract worth 100 million in total, which he has quickly rejected. Then the next, he wants to work with Max Allegri at Juventus, even though Juventus have clearly said, we're not coming in for you unless Vlahovic gets sold. And I don't even think the PSG deal's going through now. I don't know.
Interest for Vlahovic. That baffles me. Like, I know he's had not a great season, but he's so good at Fiorentina. I don't think your stock should drop that fast.
That's what I think it is, though. And I think the price tag as well is a little bit questionable. He's around the 70 to 80
How much are they
million.
selling him for? Because I thought he was going for about 30 odd mil, which doesn't seem like a lot.
Vlahovic, no. I would have said we should be all over that if that's the case. You're looking at 70, 80 for him.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, striker market, it's not it this season. It's not it. But I don't know where this Lukaku situation is actually going to end up. Part of me has a little feeling AC Milan might come out of nowhere, because they were already reportedly interested in him. They haven't sounded like they're totally against it so far. come save us, please, because if that don't happen, he's going to rot here for a year, and then less clubs are going to be interested.
So where is he right now as we speak? I've seen some stories on his Instagram. It looks like he's actually in London at the moment.
Yeah, I think he was meant to be back in training, but there's been no Cobham pictures of him. And good, personally.
It's the biggest mess. It's a bad mess without City.
It would have been fine if this idiot wasn't talking to Juventus on the week of the UCL final. Like, he's got no loyalties. No loyalties.
So this was before he knew he was on the bench.
Near him. What?
So this is before he knew he was on the bench for the final. He was already talking to Juventus.
I think so. Yeah.
Because I thought it was because they benched him. That's when he started talking to Juventus.
Maybe, but then that means he was speaking to Juventus on the night before the final, and that's even worse.
Oh, brilliant!
This guy is the biggest villain in football history.
It's a drama king. It's a drama.
And the thing is, he can do what he wants because he's on over 300 racks a week. So he doesn't give a fuck. He's getting that paycheck just to fuck about right now, and
he can't fuck about with Megan Stallion.
He's potentially holding us up from getting a world class strike. That price tag and that wage package, what he's got, he's probably holding us up from getting an Mbappé or someone like that. Because that's a big chunk of our wages. Come on, man. That's a massive chunk of our wages.
It is, but we've got rid of so many players. I don't think that's the big issue. I just think
PSG
knows it. PSG won't take him. They're not stupid. I mean, I think they're changing their model anyway.
No. He was linked.
No. I'm desperate in it. Like,
honestly, I think worst case scenario, I think you said it. Well, you did say it earlier, Lewis. Send him to France. Send him to Strasbourg. You're just gonna have to let Strasbourg suffer.
They would be doing Bowley out protests within a week. That'll be terrible PR, but we might have to.
Oh God, I would actually go to a Strasbourg game if he was there.
Seems that he gets benched by El Wahi after 2 weeks.
Oh, brilliant!
Wow.
God knows what's going to happen to this rat. But imagine the worst case scenario and he's still at Chelsea in September. What do we do? Do we actually try and envision a scenario where we bring him back into the team?
It won't happen.
Actually, we don't even need to. We got Nicholas Jackson. You bring that guy off the bench if he's even lucky enough to sit on it. He ain't starting. He'd never start for us.
No chance.
What is the situation right now? Like, how many years he's got left in the contract?
2 years.
3 years. He's been there for 2 seasons, so 3 years.
Feels like fucking ages, man.
Yeah, 3 years left. Book value is about 40 million. Hopefully, some clubs become desperate on the lead up to deadline. Maybe that would be our only little saving grace. Some clubs desperate for a striker, they slap 40 on the table for Lukaku. Lukaku will take anybody in Europe at this point. I think as long as they're in Europe and they're in like the Champions League or something, he probably would take them. So,
it's an awkward one.
Figure out a club. It's hard to describe this Lukaku situation because it's at an impasse. No one wants him, even us. He's burned basically all of his remaining bridges, and we're just stuck with him. God forbid it turns into a Winston Bogard situation, and he's literally here till his last day, just robbing a living.
It was the Bogard. Wow.
It actually could, because I just thought of it like
taking it back to the 90s there, bro. Winston Bogard. Okay, no.
Yeah, you guys, if you don't know, do your research. Winston Bogard robbed this club for like 3 years straight.
Dutch centre back, he fucking robbed us blind. But he was a good centre back for PSV he was playing for, and then he come to us and he was just fucking shit, injury prone. We used to have like 5 injuries a year, something like that, and just sat on the bench and just rotted.
He just refused to leave. I'm not making more money anywhere else, so stuck with me.
Plus,
then we had Drinkwater do the same thing.
Ziyech is still there as well. What are we going to do with him?
Oh, shit, yeah, Ziyech.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Ziyech is still here. Hey, he's on like 100K a week. Like, I don't think anybody cares. He don't make another
Oh,
issue behind the
dear.
scenes either. Find a
Just let him
club,
rock, man.
but he's got 2 big knee injuries, which is bad enough that Al Hilal wanted to lower the wage offer to him by 40%. I don't think we get rid of him. Whichever club, Al Nassr, I don't know. Saudi Arabia. So it was Al Nassr. It was actually Al Nassr.
Al
Okay.
Nassr,
It was Ronaldo's team.
Yeah, I mean, he only just
lowered.
officially rejected the deal, what, a week or so ago? It wasn't long ago he rejected the deal, so he waited for a long, long time. But nobody else is coming in for the guys, so I don't know, man. He obviously doesn't want to take a pay cut for more game time, so we might have another one of them on our hands.
You see, the thing is, Ziyech sorted his attitude out and wanted to run, showed a bit more passion for this badge. He's an absolutely wicked player, you know, Ziyech. No word of a lie. He's brilliant. But it's just because he's got such a poor attitude. He doesn't want to run, his attitude stinks. That's the only reason why he's doing himself out at the minute. But like you said, I think someone said a few weeks ago, he could potentially be a very good squad player if it does turn out that he stays after the transfer window. Maybe he's a good squad player. That's it at best, really. But yeah, what another bad situation to have at Chelsea. Ziyech and Lukaku just there rotting away. Not good.
Hey, I'll put Ziyech in a different category. At least that guy has some professionalism about him. Lukaku, yeesh, just a toxic mess. One other player, still part of the clear out that we're trying to get rid of, is Hudson-Odoi. Lazio are currently deciding between Hudson-Odoi and Arsene Zaharian, with Sarri in favour of the English winger with whom he worked with at Chelsea. Big up to Maurizio, as always. Chelsea are currently blocking Premier League offers for Hudson-Odoi. Fulham agreed personal terms with him. Forest are interested, but Chelsea prefer to sell abroad. What I don't get is why. Why was it Mount we could happily sell to an English club, Havertz we could happily sell, Kovacic, but we draw the line at Hudson-Odoi of all players. How does that make any sense?
It's a strange one as well. And the by the way, West Ham situation right now is that apparently they've already getting that Raul Jimenez from Wolves, and as a result, you got Alexander Mitrovic going to Al Hilal apparently. And I think that's why I feel like the move kind of stalled in that sense, because I think Fulham found their replacement. Plus, they've still got Vinicius, and I think William's still there. Is he?
Yeah.
Just re-signed.
Just re-signed as well. So it would not make any sense if Thiago Silva would want at him as well, unless, let's say, if Marco Silva accept that offer from Al Ahly, then a new manager coming in and he wants a throw in the club.
No, he's rejected them. He rejected them last night.
Oh, last night? Okay. Then other than that,
£40 million a year or something.
I'm not sure where we're going with this anyway, but if he wants to go to Lazio with linking up with Sarri, don't mind as well. How much do you think it could cost? Probably 6 mil at least. So that's another money in the pocket.
Hudson-Odoi is a bottom half Premier League player at best. That's it. So I don't sell him to anybody. He's not worth even 15 mil. To sell him to anybody, let the guy go and do what he does best, get injured and hit hit crosses. Because that's what you're getting from Hudson-Odoi. We've seen it for the last 2 seasons. He's had opportunity after opportunity. And yeah, his potential at the start of his career looked like he was going to be a world beater. But when you actually deep it, when he got into the final third, he's running out with the ball or overhitting crosses. So if Fulham and Nottingham Forest wants him, that's probably his level. So I don't see the reason why we are holding out for him to go to Lazio. I don't see why. Just get him off the books and take the money.
I mean, to be fair, when I remember 5 years ago, when 100% Chelsea was still going, I went on there. I think it was after we played Sheffield Wednesday, and we were speaking about Hudson-Odoi. This is when Bayern Munich just made an offer for him for about 40 million or something like that, or 35 million, and we rejected it. And I said it was the right decision. And to be fair, under Sarri, I think we could all agree with that. He was really good under Sarri.
Yeah, it was the injury that ruined him. No one could account for that.
And yeah,
it was all right. It was all right. It was
No, he was
alright.
good, Kev. Let's not. Come on. He was really good. He was
alright.
dangerous. He was like Loftus-Cheek, dangerous. They got their chance. It wasn't easy to earn that spot either. Sarri was very, very rigid with his squad selection, didn't like to rotate. And once they had that spot and they earned it, he kept playing them. He started at Hudson-Odoi at Anfield, and then obviously he kept playing him. And obviously when you're young, you are more likely to get an injury, especially when you're taking all these defenders on. Someone's going to clamp you at some point. Yeah, and then he came off, and obviously it was disappointing, but we didn't think it would be this bad. I mean, if you're class, typically you just come back. So, I mean, it's saying two things. Either the injury was really bad, or he didn't take his recovery serious enough, and that's why he's not been playing well, or he was just crap in the first place, and we were all blind. So
That's what I think. The third one's the right one.
I mean, maybe so.
He had pretty good potential, but when Bayern came in £40 million, I thought that was it, and then we rejected it. I thought, is this Chelsea? Like, is this what you see as the player what's going to take us forward? And that struck me. I was like, wow, I would have probably.
It's just unlucky because we never know whether it would actually have been the right move for us or not. Because everyone would say no, it was a terrible decision. Hindsight's 2020. No one thought he was going to get an Achilles injury and just be completely fucked from that. Killed his explosiveness, and that was what brought him on into the scene in the first place. It's a shame, but he's willing to take a pay cut, and he's trying to facilitate his own exit. I don't know why we're putting this on pause for Fulham. I don't really care if Fulham get him. I don't care if Brentford get him or Forest or anyone like that. Just get rid. If you lot actually had some actual value in him, you'd ask to keep him. You try and integrate him into pre-season. We clearly want to get rid of him. So why are we acting like he's such a big talent that we can't sell him to Fulham? I don't get it. Because Lazio look more likely to go for Zaharian.
I don't know. I haven't heard about that. But look, if he's willing to take a pay cut, fair play to him. We've got to remember he did play for us after the injury. We did give him a chance, and he was crap. So, it's not like we've just chucked him out of the door straight away. I think he'll fit in well with the Italian league. You talked about explosiveness. Yeah. You don't need to be as explosive out there. I think he'll suit Sarri's style of play. He knows Sarri. I think Sarri will give him game time. I think he'll enjoy life out in Italy. It's a good move for him. And I think if I was Hudson-Odoi, I'd probably rather be in Italy than in London at the moment. You get nice weather, nice food.
Yes.
It's a good life. So, it's just like the players that go out to Saudi, they go out for the money. In Italy, you get a great lifestyle as well. So, I mean, it's not all bad. We're acting like this guy's being cast out. He's going to be on hundreds of £1,000s a month. He's going to be earning a good living, and look, I wish him all the best, and hopefully he can revitalise his career.
Yeah, best of luck to Hudson-Odoi and everyone else involved with the clear out, except for Lukaku. But yeah, it is the end of episode 17 of the Blue Balls podcast. Big up to everybody who's been watching. Hit the like button, subscribe, let us know all your thoughts down in the comment section below. We will see you guys next week for episode 18. Hopefully, we have some progress on the Caicedo deal by then, and we're not just talking about the same crap for the 5th episode in a row. But we will see.
Big up everybody. We also win that summer series by Saturday as well.
Yes, the road to treble begins. Exactly. Let's hope we're champions by the end of the week. Big up everybody. Like, subscribe, and as always, up the Chelsea.